we're going to be looking at a problem-solving question. There is 100 coins laid out and numbered, facing heads up. You then go through and switch every single coin over. You flip them over. So all the heads have now become tails. Next, you go for every second one. And you flip these over. So all the tails become a heads. You then go through and do the third ones. You flip them over. So all the tails become heads and all the heads become tails. And you go through. You do every fourth. You do every fifth. All the way up to as you flip the 100th coin over. So the question is, which are tails and which are heads? Pause the video now to have a think about it. So let's look at the answer. Which are tails and which are heads? Let's choose a random coin. Let's choose the 20th coin. So it starts out as heads. After the first run through, it gets flipped over to tails. After the second run through, it gets flipped over to heads. The third one doesn't affect 20. The fourth one does, so it gets flipped over to tails. The fifth one does, so it'll flip over to heads. 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th don't affect it. The 10th does. It will flip it over to tails. And finally, the 20th will flip it back to heads. Have a look at another number. Let's do something slightly smaller. Let's have a look at 9. So we start off as heads. After the first one, it flips over. The second one doesn't affect it. The third one would flip it back over to heads. 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, and 8th don't affect it. But the 9th will flip it back to tails. So why has 20 ended up on heads and 9 ended up on tails? This is actually a question about factors. If you notice, 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20 are all the factors of 20. 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. The factors of 9 were 1, 3, and 9. So why has 20 got an even number of factors and 9 have an odd? Well, this is to do with the fact that in 9, when we get 3 as a factor, it is 3 times 3, which gives us 9. It is the square root of 9. But it only appears once when we list its factors. So what we can say is that all the square numbers from 1 to 100 will have an odd number of factors and therefore end up on tails, and every other number will have an even number of factors and end up on heads. In this example, we are going to group together 1 with the prime number, with the square numbers, because 1 only has a single factor, which is 1, and that is an odd number of factors.